Hey, what's going on, friends? My podcast every day is broken up into two parts on the free platform. The first part, Act 1, is right now. When it's all done, go right on over to Act 2 to get the second half of the podcast. Thank you so much for checking out my show. Come into the Eric Zane Show podcast, broadcasting from, as usual, the Impact Power Sports Studio. Thank you so much to Impact Power Sports for being on board with this show, making it happen. They are located in beautiful Rockford, Michigan, along 14 Mile Road. Go there, ATV, UTV, motorcycle, e-bike. Oh, my God. Golf cart, Michigan's newest distributor of Yamaha golf carts, and on and on and on. Brand new ownership, too. The multi-talented Mark is leading the team. And that is good news. Thank you for being part of the show and sponsoring this studio. All right. Trump blows up. Oh, my God. Not only was it a victory for Trump, it was like a slaughter. It's not, I mean, there's like no doubt. It hasn't yet been determined if this is what's described as a landslide victory. But boy, he is leading in all of these big states, these swing states that haven't yet finished tabulating. Like in the state of Michigan right now, I think 89 or 79% of the precincts have reported. And he is right now leading by 100,000 votes. So he will more than likely win Michigan. And so, you know, right now he already has enough electoral votes. He's already been declared the winner. And but now you're looking at the idea of all of those states. If he gets all of those electoral votes, that would mean that he would be winning by an even larger margin. And then, you know, fucking A. I mean, in other news, the sun rose today. And it's going to set tomorrow. So, you know, what can you do? Fucking more people came out and supported him. So that's how it goes. You live with it. And, you know, you hope he does a good job. I do. Why wouldn't I? I hope he does a great job. And when you earn the chance like that, when you earn the victory, which he did, you're getting no argument from me. You have no choice but to give him a shot. And in this case, another shot. Whatever. At the end of the day, I don't give a shit what he's done in the past. He's the guy. He's the big swinging dick for the next 4 years. So, you know, my advice to people who did not vote for Trump, like me, big deal. Okay, he won. I guess he's going to do his thing. There's nothing, you know, I would be an idiot. I don't like Americans who then when something like this happens, they go out of their way to undermine, you know, I mean, they didn't do this, by the way. They didn't have the great attitude that I have after the last election. We all know this. After the last election, it was a huge pile of shit. All right? With all of the, no, he won, and then January 6th happened. You know, none of that, I hope, happens again. I hope that the losers, that would be people who voted for him, and the Democrats, take the L and go back to work. Don't be an asshole. That's how you got to live your life. You cannot just sit there and bitch about it for the next 4 fucking years. Relax. You're going to be okay. I'm trying to explain this to my beloved daughter right now. She's like, oh my, she's at her wit's end. She's thinking that it's going to be all sorts of bad things that will come her way. And I can't say that I have enough knowledge in my pea brain to argue with her about these things. But being that she's gay and has a transgender boyfriend, she's concerned about living in the U.S. with that specter looming over her. So she's got more irons in the fire about this. She's got more to lose than I do. So I'm not going to sit around and just say, yeah, shut up. My only suggestion is breathe. And before you make any harsh, quick judgments, because right now she's like, fuck this shit. I'm going to Canada. I'm going to get married. She wants to get married right now while she still can, according to her, and then go to Canada. And I'm like, okay. My only recommendation that I can say to you as a dad is breathe and wait. And that's about as far as I'll say with anyone, other than what I've said on the show about, hey, the sun is going to rise. I mean, I can't tell you how to behave concerning this. And I wouldn't dream of that. All I can tell you is how I'm going to approach this myself. I cast my vote. My chick loses. Okay, pick up the pieces, and I'm going to move on. That's why I said the sun rose and the sun fucking set. But I'm not going to sit around and tell everybody how to feel. That's your thing. Tyler says, I've already alienated 2 people at work by simply saying you're going to be fine. Yeah, don't do that. Just shut up. You just got to shut up, okay? If people have a right to be wound up, they absolutely do. And if they want to voice their displeasure, by listening, you're helping these people. So just nod and go, my God, yeah, that was quite an upset. Or just kind of sidestep it. And if you're on the winning side, you might do a little gloating. I get it. To the victor goes the spoils. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. All that shit. I get it. But I don't know. I always just, it's like what's done is done. There's consequences to elections. And I think, in my opinion, being part of this system is outstanding. Now, yes, if we look back 4 years, the amount of bitching and moaning during this process, sure, it was ridiculous. But people who are on the losing side today are generally more intelligent than the ones who are on the winning side. The losers here are a better brand of people. Come on now. Most of the people who vote for Trump are hilljacks. They're dumb as fuck. And they have spoken, and the majority of them have made Donald Trump the 47th president of the United States. I hope he does a good job. There was an article that was published about this presidency is probably going to be a little bit different than the first one because you have the added element of revenge. Oh, okay. For whatever it is that he's fabricated in his own fucking brain, that is probably going to factor in to how he's running the country. So you might want to start wrapping your mind around that, ladies and gentlemen. Johnny B0 says, you're on drugs, Zane, lots of drugs. Corey says, I'm pretty scared of the revenge tour. Now, I'm not scared of the revenge tour, but I am interested in it. I am interested in seeing what happens here. I want to see what happens on that day when he gets those binders and he writes those executive orders. Remember 4 years ago when he did those executive orders? Was it 4 years ago? 8 years ago. Oh, my God. When he was like, all right, we're going to build this pipeline with our pipes and shit like that. So I think if you are an illegal immigrant in this country, I think number one, day one, I'm expecting there to be some waves being made. Ryan says, Big Fraud saying, imagine how full the bathrooms in Mar-a-Lago will be with documents soon. Well, you know, there's a lot of benefit to being the president of the United States. And if Trump was going to get in any trouble about any legal issues he may have facing him, I think those are going to be kind of cast to the side. All right. Johnny says it's okay, easy, if you take drugs, but you got to take the ones that make you have a positive outlook. Well, I mean, I did say I hope he does well. I don't have a bad attitude about anything. It's an election. It's not like I'm dying. I don't have the opinion, my own personal opinion, that any one president can come in and fuck me up on a personal level. I would never let that happen. So I don't know. I mean, if you want to start a fight with me, I don't know where that's coming from. I'm trying to provide a little levity on all of this. Listener Jason says Rich Eric will keep more of his money. Nick in the arena says, bring on the tax cuts. Linda says, yeah, I don't have a job right now. I'm scared shitless. Thank God I'm financially smart and have enough savings to live for a long time. Corey says, as white men, we will be fine, but with young daughters, I'm very concerned. There's been a lot of talk about that, about how this is like a blow against women. And a lot of this has to do with abortion laws in this country. But hasn't Trump said that in the case of rape and incest, he would allow abortion? I might just be speaking out of my ass. By the way, there was a bill in Texas, a law. They were trying to make it a law in Texas, one part of Texas, I swear to God. And it didn't pass, but they were trying to make it illegal in Texas for you to travel on certain roads to get out of state to get an abortion. So I'm not sure how that would work, but the idea was if you were traveling on a state highway to get out of Texas to go get an abortion, you were not allowed to do that. Which, my God, how would they know, you know? Ryan says, or Patrick says, yes, Trump did say he believes in exceptions to abortions. He said that over and over. Ryan says President-elect Trump has been all over the board during the campaign on where he stands on abortion. No concrete answers, though. So I'm getting conflicting reports. At the end of the day, it's in the state's hands. Florida, for example, voted yesterday on the issue, and it lost. Molly says, once people start killing themselves, maybe America will wake the fuck up. Molly also said, and she paid for it so that I would say it. Thank you. Why does someone that has mocked people below him, disabled people, and all kinds of people get to be president? I want an answer. Well, to me, this all goes back to everyone is allowed to vote, including assholes. And assholes voted for the biggest asshole. That's what happened. So now you live with it. We have 4 years of living with this asshole. And that's the way it goes. And I support the process. I support the process that assholes can vote for an asshole. Matt makes a great point. EZ mocks people all the time. Why aren't we pissed at him? Okay, yeah, that's true. I do. But I don't know. I mean, I think that applies to Trump. I mean, you can't really split hairs on the deal. I would like to think that Trump, at the end of the day, is he might say horrible, hateful things in the setting of like a campaign rally like that, and perhaps there's a little bit of showmanship on this when he does it, and some people take that shit to heart. I would hope that the shit that Trump has said in the past, he really doesn't mean. And I know it sounds like I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, but I mean, at the end of the day, you have to. Cole writes, if there's one thing Trump's good at, it's beating women in elections. Cole also adds 4 more years of enjoying all the TDS. I'm not sure what that means. Linda writes, fat fuck Cheeto needs a weight loss support group. Okay, she's lashing out. Jeremy adds, I'm most worried about the Supreme Court. It's already stacked with conservative justices, and Trump will likely have 2 more appointees, lifelong appointments to decide cases like union rights, voting rights, a whole myriad of things. Yes, that's true, but I don't suggest you worry about it. I'm here to try to keep you focused as well as entertain you, keep you focused on today. Let's not crystal ball it, because that never works. It's always a shit show when you do the crystal ball thing. Some Americans are actually experiencing real, genuine anxiety over this. I will say that this, I mean, for me, I was sound asleep. And I'll get back to your comments. Keep them coming. I enjoy reading your comments. You guys really provide a fun beacon of light on this show each and every day. For me, I tell you what, let's go back in the order that the things happen. 4:30, Pooh Bear's like, we gotta get to the polls. There's gonna be a lot of people there. I go, all right, no problem, let's go. And sure enough, there's a line, and we're all in line. We got our little tickets there, and the guy behind me, it's father and son. And son, I don't know what it is, but when you go into like you're waiting in line, for some reason it was like quiet as a church. Everybody's quiet and just looking at their phones. But of course, the guy behind me, dad and son is like, I'm going to have a conversation with dad, but I'm not going to, it's clear this is a quiet room. It's just, there's not a sound. Dad, did you see my new tennis racket? And so everything he says is like that fucking loud. And then I noticed that as we're just kind of like side-eyeing, I hear Dad go, like indicating, like, Dad gets it. Just shut the fuck up for a minute, okay? Just clearly read the goddamn room. And so the kid is a little quieter then for a little bit. And then he's not again. I'm like, Jesus Christ, first election? Get in there, do my voting, cast my ballot, away I go. Time for night-night. I wake up at, for me, this is how I looked at my phone and I got a notification because it wasn't until about 20 to 6 that the AP and CNN said Trump won. And I see the Senate, the U.S. Senate is red. The Senate has turned Republican. And I went, oh, no. Oh, boy. Okay. And the House is still up for grabs. So I was like, oh, my God. No way. There's no way. Then, an hour later, 3:20, I've got this rumbling in my tummy. As Pooh Bear used to say, rumbly in my tumbly. Something's the matter with me. This is bad. And I had this, like, I think this feels like it's going to take a while. And no shit, I was there on the throne for 50 minutes. Okay? And then I hear, Eric! I go, yeah, I'm having a problem. And really nothing's moving. Okay? That wasn't great. And so then a little bit of time passes. And before the shit hit the fan, literally, I see Pooh Bear after I saw that the Senate changed hands. I see the light from her phone. I go, what are you doing? She goes, I want to see who won. I go, don't bother. Just there's no results yet. Just I said, it's going to stress you out. She goes, I'm already stressed. And I go, no, I didn't have the heart to tell her that the Senate already changed hands and that Trump was probably going to win because that's what I felt. But I didn't want to upset her. So then I'm in the bathroom. 50 minutes. And then finally at 4:20, an hour later, the dam breaks. And it was like I had a faucet coming out of my asshole. I don't know if it was going to bed and having one of the NFK's Jimmy Dean sausage croissants and washing it down with some chicken fries. It was my easy election night bar food, shit food special. But something caused an issue. I then went ahead and looked at my phone because it was time to get up at 20 to 6. They had announced that Trump won. Jeremy writes, no episode of the EZ Show podcast would be complete without an extremely graphic description of shit. Now, the next thing I'm going to tell you is one of the most horrific things I've ever experienced in my life. And it's very graphic. It's more shit talk. So I'm going to get rid of the folks on Facebook and YouTube now because I don't want everybody hearing this. I mean, I do, but I don't. If you want the rest of it, you're going to have to get it on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. I can just imagine like my stepdad or something like that watching this and me telling the next part of the story. So screw that. All right. Those bastards are gone. The first thing I have to do when I get up is feed the dogs. I've got 7 minutes to get all this shit done and get on the radio on Q100. While scooping O'Neill's food into his bowl, I felt like a fart was brewing. It was not. It was another blast from the faucet. Now, let me tell you something. This type of material leaving my body from my asshole, it's like I've got the flu. Okay? It's purely brown water. And I have never shit my pants quite like this in my life. I'm standing there only in my underwear. There's not a lot of material to hold this back. But I know the second that I went, that I was fucked. The next thing I know, there is a hot stream rolling down my leg all the way to the floor. As I said those words, Jeremy wrote, "Oh no, did it run down your leg?" Absolutely. It was so ridiculous that O'Neill, while eating, was like instantly drawn to it. And he stopped eating and went for it. So I've got a wet leg with shit on the floor, and I have to hold O'Neill back from licking up my shit water. Maureen says, "Oh my God, Eric, it's times like this that I do not appreciate your ability to paint such a picture with your words." So this all happens in a flash. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I go to the bathroom. Finish the job. I'm now standing in the laundry room with a t-shirt on and nothing below my waist. I'm nude. My ding-dong is hanging out. I wipe up my shit on the floor and feed the dogs. And then I went ahead and put on, there was a dirty pair of underwear in the fucking basket. I grabbed those and put them on. That's how my morning went. I did not sleep. Nothing good happened from the moment I rolled over and saw that the Senate was lost. So it was Senate lost, on the toilet for an hour, wake up, Trump wins, shit myself. I can't even say I shit my pants. I shit myself. Tyler suggests a quote from the NFK. "Eric, there's poo-poo on your leg. You got poo-poo running down your leg. Fuck you, N-word." Tyler adds, per NFK protocol, "I'm assuming your next step was to dip your finger in it and make a poo-poo Picasso in the kitchen cabinets." And he wrote, "Happens to the best of us." All right. Ryan says, "I had the same thing. I woke up at 5 a.m. and my asshole just opened up a lava explosion of truly tremendous proportions." I Got a Pillow for Twitch says, "Tuned into Fox News to hear what they were saying. They knew how he won, according to one lady at a breakfast diner. God decided it. That motherfucker used the almighty." Amy says, "As a runner, one quote to live by, never trust a fart." Thank you. Matt says, "Trump used his mind powers to make you shit yourself for not voting for him." Ryan says your asshole and mine are synced today. It's like when women get on the same cycle. Yeah, I have never shit myself where that happened. It's always been contained like in the clothing. Hey, it's your old pal EZ with my latest and greatest sponsor, Uncommon Goods. Found at uncommongoods.com. This is a fantastic gift site for that special someone on your list. Could be holiday related, could be birthday related, could be for you related, or just because you're awesome to that someone special. We're talking about amazing gifts that Uncommon Goods has scoured the internet for, from artisan crafters and people that make cool stuff that you want. They describe it as give a gift that sparks joy, wonder, delight, and that it's exactly what I wanted feeling. They will feel that way when they check out what you have taken the time to discover at Uncommon Goods. There's all sorts of different categories for you to shop. Food and drink, gardening, pets and animals, reading, sports. Like, for example, I click on sports, and I'm just checking out all these amazing gifts that somebody would love. Maybe some decorative coffee mugs or shot glasses, things like that with your favorite team's logo on them. All sorts of fun books related to sports. The list goes on and on. I mean, seriously, you can scroll for hours and hours and just see some amazing things that you could get somebody for a gift, because that's what it's all about, you know? And to make it extra simple for you, I can give you 15% off your next gift. Go to uncommongoods.com/Zane. Uncommongoods.com/Zane for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited offer. Uncommon Goods. We're all out of the ordinary. I can't stress that enough. This is awesome. Start your shopping at uncommongoods.com. My God. I think Jason may have upset people. This says listener Jason. I'm not even sure like who that is. He wrote, I just go to work and live my life. Women that think they are being discriminated against and held down, it's just all in their heads. There was a little more on that. Linda says, all right, Jason, then you try earning less at your job than a woman and see how you like it. Good God. I think there's more to that I'm missing. Oh, okay, I see it. Listener Jason described himself as a white straight man, the new persecuted gender and race. Ooh, that's gonna piss people off. Amy said, I hope you are joking. Megan described you as gross. I'm curious, though, to listener Jason. Can you explain to me? It says you are the new persecuted gender and race. Can you list for me the times you've been persecuted? Like give me a detail or two of how you've been persecuted. I mean, if you're going to say that, you clearly have been persecuted. That's a pretty serious thing to say. Maureen says he cannot back up anything he said. Chris says we tried to ask him that, but he, quote, doesn't focus on it. Well, okay. You're just probably saying things that you've heard people on various outlets or platforms say, and you're running with that. That's probably what's happening there. I mean, I can't say for sure, but I would think that that's what you're getting at. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. That would imply that if you were persecuted, that something was kept from you. You were discriminated against because you're a dude and you're white. Now, maybe I'm just too dumb, but also being a white dude, at least I think I'm a white dude, I've not had anything like that happen. Chris says roast beef for the white man has become attainable because of Bidenflation, or has become unattainable because of Bidenflation. Ryan says, terrible what cops are doing to the white man during traffic stops these days. Well, all right. That's about all I got. I knew that when I was telling that gross story, or when it happened, I'd be like, oh, fuck, I don't want to have to tell this shit. Jason admits, I don't think I've been persecuted. I just hide in my mom's basement. However, everyone seems to hate white straight men. Yeah, I don't think so, man. I don't think that that's true. Just take the W. Corey says inflation has been going down. Gas is $2.95 here. That's true. Stock market's never been higher. It was up over 42,000. This is the first time I've seen this one. I've not heard anyone other than Joe Martinez say voter fraud. Now, that's the first time I've heard that. And I would be shocked if from the Democratic side of things you would get that. I think Trump just won. You know, I mean, what else can you say? I would like to say that 4 years ago when the Democrats won, all of that bullshit was how not to respond when you take an L. By comparison, Democrats getting murdered in this election will show you how to respond when you lose. You respond like an adult. All right? That's how you lose. I'm assuming that will be the case. And, you know, when you have that many dumb people who lose an election last time, what you get was January 6th. As I indicated earlier on the show, Republicans are much dumber overall. I mean, they're not as intelligent. I'm talking about the constituents. Okay? These are poor, dumb people, generally speaking. Not all of them, but a lot of them. That's why they rebelled when the last election happened. They're easily manipulated. They're duped. And a goddamn con man has tricked these morons. Oh, hang on a second. Please hold. I'm getting the broadcast room secured. We bring in the newly minted president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Congratulations, sir.
Oh, thank you so much, Big Fraud. It's so tremendous to wake up on a wonderful day. I don't know if I slept much, I'm going to be honest with you. But so great to be the winner of the wonderful vote of president. And not only just the president, by the way, the popular president. Right. I mean, look at the country, Big Fraud. It's painted in a sea of red.
It is.
Totally beautiful.
It is. The amount of ass you kicked is quite ridiculous. Is this sweeter than the first one, sir?
This is probably on par. I would say on par with the first victory, but I'd say maybe a little bit better if I got to be honest, because I think the gloves are off, folks. I think they're off, and we're going to do wonderful things. I've promised great things, actually, for our country, and I think we're going to do great, actually. You look at it, you look at the numbers, look at them. They're so big. And Michigan, by the way, I don't know why they're not calling it because it's so obvious. It's so obvious I've won Michigan. Look at Michigan, all your little counties, especially north of your little hub of Democrats, they call it.
Yep.
It's all red.
Yes.
The hillbillies, they love me, Big Fraud.
Okay, so with you, I think I misspoke. I'm supposed to refer to you as President-elect.
That's fine, Big Fraud. I prefer Mr. President if we're being formal, of course. But yes, I mean officially, I'm the president-elect, and by a lot of margins. Because look at it, each time I win these votes, it's like they put these women up against me, and these women, they're terrible. They're so weak. I mean, they put Kamala Harris up there, and she was like the least favorite administration. I mean, nobody likes Biden, and they put her up. She never had a chance. And Clinton, look at email Hillary. She never stood a chance either. It's so easy to win when you're too big. You gotta get too big to rig. I said it all the time.
Too big to rig. Well, I mean, you always have come up with the clever thing to say, win too big to rig. I mean, that rhyming, the alliteration, all that is pretty great. And I mean, I can't sit here from my vantage point. And I mean, you won. Fuck it. I mean, at the end of the day, you won.
I won probably bigger than you and your puny little brain probably actually could have imagined. And think about it, Big Fred, because look at it. I've workshopped so many of my ideas right here on your little tiny show. I've come up with things, and then you've heard me say them in real life not long after. I workshopped them here. I worked on Comrade Kamala with you, and that one stuck for a little while. It's funny, actually, because I think of you, because your viewership is so tiny, I use you as maybe a platform to work these things, because I weave and I workshop. I weave and I workshop. I do maybe weaving and workshopping with you.
Right. And that's kind of like a comedian will go to a small club when he's still working the bits out, and then he cleans it up and takes it to prime time. Are you suggesting then that I am your little hole-in-the-wall comedy club?
Well, think about it. The day that I appeared on Joe Rogan, which I think actually maybe won the election for me, I did your show in the morning. I went to Joe Rogan, and then I destroyed. I did several hours. In fact, I was late to Traverse City that night.
Right.
And it was tremendous because I can workshop and weave with you, and then I can do that. I can do it again, and I can see what works because I see how pissed off you get. And if it makes you pissed off, I usually know that I'm winning. Okay. I'm winning big numbers, actually.
All right. Well, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I just
got to say this. I think you're going to be so happy because gas prices are going to be so affordable, like magic. You're going to see it. It's going to be so cheap. We're going to do wonderful things. Day one, we're going to deport, believe me, so many Hispanics. We're deporting them. Maybe Joe Biden, too. I don't know. We're going to deport like you've never seen deports. Day two, I don't know. I call up Vladimir and I say, Ukraine, let's solve it. We're going to solve it so quickly. And if that means he wants the Soviet Union back, I mean, who are we to argue with that? I mean, it's not our country.
Just take it. We don't care. What do we care?
Exactly. It's like we gave all these people weapons. Joe gave them all these weapons. And it's like, let's train them on themselves, actually, because the weapons are there. We just need to use them, and we'll use them. Don't believe me. We're going to do wonderful things for our country. And a lot of people think that I'm here to divide, like I'm the great divider. I heard that on NBC. I am not the great divider. I'm here to unify. I am going to unify the country, Big Fraud, like you've never seen before. We are going to love each other. If you can love me, I can love you, Big Fraud. That's the way I look at it.
Look, as long as I don't have to interact with any of the morons who voted you into office again, I will be happy.
Well, the thing is, I actually haven't put much focus on, like, the cabinet or anything. I'm going to be honest with you, I had no idea this was going to happen. I didn't see it happening. And so I didn't focus on it, but I promised a lot of things. In fact, Kennedy,
right.
He's going to be in charge of our health and food. He's going to do the food thing.
Oh, yeah.
So roast beef and things like that, they're going to come down because the quality is going to come down. So the prices, you're going to see great prices on things like roast beef, groceries.
Okay. So you just said the quality is going to come down.
Gas.
The quality's coming down, so it'll be cheaper for roast beef. Probably use dog.
We're bringing back, think of it this way. I mean, they're eating them in Little Springfield. Why not? But we're going to bring back so many great things. We're going to bring back the snack wrap at McDonald's, folks. I was working at the McDonald's, actually. I said, where's the snack wraps? Where's the snack wraps? They said, we don't make them anymore. We stopped when Joe Biden came president. I said, why? I said, the chicken prices are too high. They want the quality. So we put Kennedy in there. We lower the quality, and the snack wrap is back, folks, and America is so happy.
Okay. So decreased quality is what we can count on. Sir, congrats. I'm sorry you won, but congratulations to you for winning.
Oh, thank you so much, Big Fraud. And this is actually a great opportunity for you to maybe get into the 50s in your ratings, because now you have a front line to the president of the United States, because we met when I was no longer the president. So now you have the phone call to the leader of the free world. Isn't it amazing to think right in your pocket?
Right.
You can call me anytime.
We might even average 45 viewers on today's Twitch stream, which would be amazing.
Well, it's actually pretty great. And, when everyone is sitting there thinking about these things, they're going to be sitting there like, oh, the women aren't safe, and the gays and all this stuff. You don't need to worry about it, folks. Listen, it's crazy. People say crazy things, and I'll do crazy things. Believe me, the quality is going to be so low on these snack wraps. They're coming back like you wouldn't believe. But we're going to do great things, Big Fraud, and you're going to see it. You're going to see it. You're going to be on the front lines, baby.
All right, Mr. President, thank you very much. Congrats on your victory.
Well, thanks for having me on the program, Big Fraud. And, of course, we look forward to great things. And, I was in Grand Rapids, and that's what made us win. We went to Grand Rapids in 2016. We went there in 2020, which wasn't so great, but we went there again. And look, we were thinking early on, maybe this was voter fraud. Maybe we had another case of voter fraud. But then the numbers turned around. They turned around, and I just kept winning. And obviously, there was no voter fraud because we won.
Right.
It was great. That's
pretty much the indicator in your world that there was no voter fraud because you won.
Oh, yes, and you have to think about it like McDonald's. I keep bringing it back, but again, I just was working there. And the quarter pounders, they were causing people E. coli and things like that for the onions on them. Imagine with lower quality, maybe we wouldn't have the E. coli issues at McDonald's and things like that. I mean, Kennedy's going to do great things for food.
Sir, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Big Fraud, take care of yourself.
All right. Goodbye. All right. A normal sign off that time from Trump. All right. Well, that's it. I got nothing. Unless there's anything else about this election that you want to address. Because I've got plenty more to talk about on this show. All right. We have a Big Fraud Wednesday going on today. More on that in a second. Thank you, as always, to the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. They will roll out the red carpet for you. 231-332-6505, which, by the way, I have an update. I found out yesterday that when it comes to easy vacation property, Big Fraud property rentals, this was kind of like a headline buried, that for every vacation rental property that I purchase in our plan to take over all of the vacation rental properties north of the hard living line, you must put 20% down for a vacation rental. You can't like finance the whole thing. So I'm like, Well, that is going to put a hitch in the giddy up of our plan, because I don't want to tap into savings to pay for the rental property. So I'm putting a hold on the whole process until I have that. So you're probably wondering, well, Jesus, he's not talking about it anymore. Well, that's why. And this just developed yesterday. It's one of the things I thought about when I was sitting on the toilet for damn near an hour last night. So I'm waiting. And I'm also selling the fraud bus. And I won't sell it to any of you. None of you can have the fraud bus because I don't want any of you buying that goddamn lemon. But I'm not going to sell it until the spring. So that's the update. I'm going to cut debt, and I'm going to save for a down payment on the EZ Big Fraud Vacation Rentals. All of this under the advice of my friends at the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. 231-332-6505. 231-332-6505. Sell that mansion and turn it into 10 rental properties and live in one of them. Can you turn the fraud bus into a tourist destination? Easy won't sell it because he knows we know that we should lowball the fuck out of it because of all the issues. Jeremy says, my offer stands $5 and a handful of lint for the fraud bus and 3 free stays at Big Fraud Vacation Resort. Ryan says the fraud bus is on sale. That thing should be in the Smithsonian. All right. All right. Where was I? I was talking about the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Reach out if you need a mortgage. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. How about these great folks? When your car needs work, your EV, your hybrid, take it to the place that the dealerships take it to. Sure, the dealerships can take care of the usual minor things. But when it comes to the big projects, when they don't know what the hell they're doing, they call Irvine's. Don't just take my word for it. Go to their website, ervines.com, and check out some of their outstanding reviews that they have displayed prominently for you to check out. Irvines.com, 616-532-6600. Also, great sponsor, A&E Heating and Cooling. The immortal Joe Martinez leading your HVAC team. You can still take advantage of a free furnace tune-up and diagnostic test for free. This is a $145 value. It's being offered free of charge because of a partnership with DTE. All right? The only catch is you can't have taken advantage of this in the last 2 years. Otherwise, you call 616-516-8579. You book your appointment. Joe or one of the members of his crew shows up, does their thing, and leaves. No money, changes hands. Very, very cool. All right, last one for this before I start to promote what's going to be happening on Big Fraud Wednesday. Kuiper Tree Care. In West Michigan, go to kuipertreecare.com. This is who takes care of the trees at my house. Tree trimming, tree removal, stump grinding, land clearing, storm cleanup, tree pruning, I think I might have said that, and tree risk assessment. All very, very important. You can call or text. Say hello to the good folks at Kuiper Tree Care. They're found at, you can call or text 616-828-8225, 616-828-8225. Call Ben Kuiper, say Easy sent me, and come take a look at my tree. I want it gone, or I want it cleaned up, or I've got a stump that needs to be ground, or what do you think about these trees? Are they going to screw up my roof? Is this tree sick? I mean, I can't tell. They have 3 certified arborists there at Kuiper Tree Care. Online at KUIPER treecare.com. Speaking of Kuiper, where the hell is Kevin Kuiper? I see you there. Kuiper is smart. He's not gloating. You know, it would be okay, in my opinion, to the victory. Victory goes to spoils. Is that how you say that? I don't know. It's okay today for Trump fans to talk shit. You won. You should be allowed to talk shit. You got done what you set out to do. So Trump fans, you know, I love my MAGA acolytes here on this show. There's not a lot of them, but the ones I have, you know I love you. Talk your shit. You've earned that. And I haven't yet heard from Kevin. He said, I let everyone else shit talk. Showbro Michael 91 says, and we love you. Yeah, it's okay that you're fucking brainwashed. Somebody pointed out Ukraine. That's one thing that you would expect is going to happen. Because as that war has dragged on, you know, there's been a huge price tag to keep that happening. And I fully expect Trump to no longer fund that. And, I mean, on one hand, I understand why it's important that we keep a psychopath like Putin in check. But on the other hand, is this a bottomless well? Is there going to come a point? I'm not all in on this anymore. I mean, we need to take a look at that. If I'm Trump, I want to be assured that Putin has no plans to try to take over the world. That's all I'm concerned about. Corey says, Ukraine is fucked now, so is Gaza. So I think what you're saying there is that Trump will support Israel, but not Ukraine. So that the Arab population in the Gaza Strip and in the West Bank, they're in trouble. Right? But, I mean, if you think about it, the Biden administration has kind of spoke out of both sides of the mouth when it comes to the Arab world and the Jewish world. You know, he's kind of like tried to have his cake and eat it too. And I don't think Trump is going to do that. Jeremy says Trump has said he would encourage Netanyahu to finish the job. Nick writes, Gaza should be bulldozed into the Mediterranean. Now, I read that, and it kind of makes me sad. I don't know if that's, I mean, I want peace. And Israel was attacked by the Arabs in the Gaza Strip. There's got to be a way out of this. Cole says, fuck Ukraine, fuck Russia, fuck the Gaza Strip. Us, us, us. Fuck. All right, so that's I did want to address that because that's something that is going to be focused on as time passes here. There are some key issues that I think are going to be the forefront of Trump's administration. Let me give you the background on something else that's happening. Because this morning when I was seated on the toilet, I also saw a headline that I did not engage. I didn't click on it. Because my stomach hurt so bad and I just didn't feel good. And I just couldn't even concentrate. But I did see a headline. And it said, Kamala Harris hospitalized on Election Day. And then I saw that headline again. It was texted to me. Megan sent it to me. And she didn't play this right because she sent that. And I immediately, now at this point, I wasn't really suspicious at all. I thought she actually did wind up in the hospital. So I wrote back to Megan. I texted, she had a terrible day. But I hadn't yet clicked on the link she sent. My suspicion rose dramatically when she wrote, "How did you click the link?" And I'm like, okay. Well, obviously, she's not in the hospital. And then I looked, and it said San Francisco Chronicle. That's always where it comes from. When you click on it, it's that big black dude with the big dick. So in the future, Megan, in an effort to get me to fall for these pranks, usually not going to work if someone says, "Oh yeah, you had to click the link. Oh my God." So no, I didn't. I would have fallen for it eventually had you not said that. She says, I got Kenny, Stevie, Maureen, and Linda. Did you? So then this morning after she ruined it, I clicked on it just because I actually wanted to see how big that guy's dick is. It's unbelievable, the size of that dick. All right, that is Act 1 of the podcast. Act 2 is available right after this one. Go check it out. What are you doing? Don't miss a second of it. Thank you so much.